Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
It's a special episode celebrating a better you with former Dancing with the Stars pro and mental health advocate Cheryl Burke. She's here live to talk all about overcoming her traumatic childhood, healing after divorce, and getting sober. Then, a plus-size fitness trainer on making the gym a more inclusive place. What does she think when people say you can't be fat and fit? Plus, an aging activist is sharing how she's changing the narrative about growing older. And caring for your hair. What's the best way to get those strands thicker and healthier as you age?
Oh my gosh.
Get real.
No.
Y'all, just stop. This is a sham.
It's finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. Ooh, today we are dedicating an entire hour to bettering yourself because we think it is so important to talk about the things that affect people's lives every day, from mental health to physical health to candid conversations about aging. We've got several guests who can speak to life's ups and downs and coming out on the other side of their mental and physical health journeys. It just feels right because we've all been so transparent on this show about our own physical and mental journeys. So I'm excited to dive deep and learn some things today.
Yeah, I think that vulnerability is very tricky when you're talking about real things that are impacting you in real time, because you're also opening up yourself to a lot of scrutiny from people who may not have manifested that in their lives, but people who can really understand it because they're going through similar journeys. There's a connection there, and I think we all appreciate that in real time every day.
Yeah, and you know what? Good job for the show. I like that we're doing this.
Are you Italian all of a sudden?
I'm sorry to go there. I'm just sorry if I offended you and did appropriation, but I meant it.
Well, you'll be talking to HR.
Okay, I apologize. What I'm saying to you is we didn't hesitate. We jumped it. You don't see a lot of daytime TV shows saying, like, let's go there. And that's what we're doing, and I'm proud of our show. And I apologize.
Or let people learn from their lessons, right? We don't let people make mistakes anymore. Those are the people I want to hear from. People who went through it.
Yeah.
They had their bad times and they're coming out the other side, and here's my experience. I love that.
Beautifully stated.
With no Italian accent.
I apologize.
I love you.
Love you too.
Okay, so to kick things off, we have former Dancing with the Stars pro, mental health advocate, and the host of Diving Deep, a show that gets people talking about the things that matter. Cheryl Burke is with us.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
We're so happy to have you kick off our Better You episode. Nobody better than you.
Let's get right to it. Go for it. Yeah.
I love that you guys are doing this. This is amazing. You're spreading awareness. You know, everyone needs to hear this, whether they want to take, any type of accountability. That's, it doesn't matter. I think this is very important. So thank you for doing this.
Well, thank you as well. So Cheryl, everyone knows you from Dancing with the Stars, of course. 26 seasons. Looking back, what an accomplishment, right? But what do you want people to know? They just see you as a dancer. Who's the real Cheryl? What do they want?
I am just like anybody else. Life isn't always glitter balls and mirror balls and rhinestone outfits and spray tans. Like, there is an actual person beneath it all. And I go through it like anybody can relate, I'm sure, at this point. I mean, I think when it comes to the pandemic in itself, we've all had different levels of trauma. But mine started when I was a lot younger.
I love just the honesty, how you speak so candidly. That's how we break the stigma. Right. In fact, something else that was very honest coming from you that I want our audience to hear you expand upon is that you said if you had a daughter, she would not be ballroom dancing. What from your personal experience makes you say that?
I think that dancing in general, right? You're in front of the mirror 24/7. So that alone, I was exposed to mirrors when I was 4 years old. And then I started in ballet and I just didn't fit in because I grew hips at a younger age. Everything is very, it's all from the outside, not inside out, like the way it should be, right? So it's like, what do you look like? Or do you fit the aesthetic? And it becomes very material, and it's not good for the psyche, for the soul, to always constantly compare and be judged. It's just, it's not something that I would, I guess support. But ultimately, if she ever wanted to dance, obviously, it's her life. But I would veer her off of that.
lighting,
I
guess.
I never thought about how many mirrors are in that room and how overwhelming
Constantly.
that would be. Yeah, that's such a good point. You just finalized a very public divorce. Mazel tov, by the way, on getting your dog. I was looking on your Instagram. Love my dog as well. How did you protect your peace during your divorce? And I bet your dog was part of it, because it would be for me. And I'm not getting divorced.
Yeah, no, for sure. There is definitely a therapeutic aspect to animals, especially dogs. But my therapist, I'm not even going to deny it. I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I have to say that, you know, when something like that, like some sort of like big event happens in my life, it's hard for me to talk to family and friends, because I personally I want someone who isn't biased, right? And for me, that is my therapist. And she also engages me to also think on my own. You know, sometimes when you have loved ones around, they're so passionate about helping you, and you hadn't even asked for advice in the first place. You just need someone to listen, right? I mean, no offense to anybody around me. Obviously, I couldn't have done it without them either. But it is important for me to really sometimes have someone listen, sometimes have someone make me like think on my own, you know, and not try and influence my decision or whatever. So yeah, that's how I got through it. And meditation, and there's so many different types of resources that I still do to this day, but the list is very long.
Yeah, I mean, who would have known I had so much in common with Cheryl Burke? First of all, I bought a meditation mat, so you guys have been out here. And also, I want to congratulate you on being 4.5 years sober. That is amazing. So let's pause. That's yes.
Bravo, bravo.
I pulled up my app. I am 3 years, 2 months, and 3 days.
Oh, congratulations! It's amazing.
I'm really curious. I want to know what made you, because I know what it was for me. What made you quit drinking alcohol?
My father passed away a few years ago, and honestly, if I were to be very candid, I've written about this before, but it was for vanity reasons. I started breaking out into hives, and this was right when I got engaged, and I just got back from burying my father in Thailand. And it was interesting how the poison I was putting in my body just had the reverse effect, and I started breaking out into hives. And I was this proud Asian woman who never got red when she drank, you know, and all of a sudden my body was rejecting what I was putting in it. And it was interesting. And so thank God for that in a way, though, too, because I am the type of personality where I either go hard or go home. You know, that's part of my addiction.
Well, I also want to tell you how much we appreciate you being transparent about the fact that you've been in and out of therapy your whole life. Can you let us in on the most helpful coping and healing strategies that you found, like diamond painting?
Isn't that crazy? If you would have told me back in my clubbing days that I would have been an arts and crafts girl, I would have not believed you. So you can't take the rhinestone out of the ballroom dancer, that's for sure. But it's very tedious. You're literally, it's like paint by numbers. But there's a therapeutic aspect to it for me, because I become a better listener. I'm able to take online courses. I suffer from ADHD. I don't suffer. I mean, I think I accept it wholeheartedly. But I do have ADHD, and it does help my brain and my thoughts run 1,000,000 miles an hour. So it makes me focus, yet it's not too challenging, so that I can also do something else at the same time and retain the information being told to me.
This is exactly why I cross stitch. This is exactly why.
Really?
Yes, and I know diamond painting. I just want to say it's not hard. It's X's all over the place, but your hands are busy. But she also, what we love is you use diamond painting to get your guests to open up on your show. What do you love about hosting Diving Deep?
You mean manipulate them by diamond painting. I just love how everyone that I've interviewed so far, they just forgot the cameras were there. Because if I were to tell you about 16, 17 years ago when I moved to Los Angeles to do Dancing with the Stars, I mean, I couldn't talk on camera. I was a different person. And it would have helped if I had, my hands were busy doing something and I didn't really sit in front of the camera and, you know, do an interview. But, you know, it really brought out so many personal issues that I don't think either they never got asked before or they've never explained that side of the story before. Because for me as well, I don't get in my head when I'm diamond painting. So I was going off no script and we were just talking and asking questions that I probably wouldn't be able to ask if I was not diamond painting.
I love it. Smart. Cheryl, we can't thank you enough for being open. It will save lives. It already has, I'm sure, to our viewers. Head to Cheryl's YouTube channel to watch full episodes of Diving Deep, where Cheryl and her guests get vulnerable. And of course, diamond. Yes, they go hand in hand. Thank you again, Cheryl. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Bye-bye. Coming up on this special edition of DBL, we are talking all about why Americans are getting more comfortable bringing up mental health to their doctors. And a plus-size fitness trainer will be here live to talk about how she's bringing more inclusivity into the gym. Plus, a pioneer in the pro-aging movement joins us to share what she's doing to change the narrative around growing older. Welcome back. So how comfortable are you talking to your doctor about your mental health? Well, it turns out a new study shows more and more Americans are doing just that. There's been a 50% increase in doctors' visits for mental health, but there is a big caveat. People of color still face big barriers. Some of those obstacles include less access to mental health care, a lack of diversity in mental health providers, and of course, a stigma against asking for help. You and Al just had this conversation yesterday.
One of
Please
my favorite
elaborate.
Conversations that
Me
we've
too.
had on the show. So, Erica, kick it off.
Well, Al was making the point that he feels like therapy has been oversaturated, especially in the past couple of years, and we've heard a lot about it. And I was pushing back to say that I think it's important that we continue to capitalize on the interest and also the education that we've never had before about therapy, particularly with people of color and in marginalized communities where it was considered not okay to seek help or to tell other people about what was happening, like on the inside, like you don't talk about these things outside, right? So that's kind of where we were going back and forth, and I know that people only got snippets of that conversation. Thank you for all of your feedback. Thankfully, I'm in therapy and able to process what's important versus what's trash.
What have been some of the barriers for both of you?
I would say the barriers are who we come from. Like, but this relates to everybody. We have the luxury of, like, after work, I might go get some acupuncture, I might go walk my dogs. Our parents, and especially our grandparents, they came from warfare.
Yeah, right.
You guys understand that?
The Great Depression.
They worked in terrifying factories. Most of the men were in war. They were not treated when they got back. There was no relationship dynamic. There was no power dynamic financially because of the juxtaposition of men and women at that time. So the idea of having the time in your life, and the extra income to go to therapy was unheard of. So we are just really pioneering that. So that's why I think a lot of barriers is because we're really the first generation to even have time or resources to do that.
Right. No, it's true. But our parents and other generations are learning from us,
yes.
and we're learning from the generation below us.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we listen and have like conversations that are productive.
Beautifully stated. Coming up on DBL on this special Better You episode of DBL, she's an inspiration for women over 50. Wendy Eiler joins us live to share her positive mindset when it comes to aging next. Welcome back. Our next guest may have said goodbye to the crop top, but she's embracing her age and style and wants other women to embrace it too. She is a pioneer in the pro-aging movement with her blog and podcast and has made it clear that she's anti-aging. Please welcome to the show, Wendy Eiler.
Wendy, thank you so much for being here. So what was the moment when you first realized your calling to be an aging activist?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I've never had a fear of aging, and I attribute that to the perspective I've had over the years. But I quit a long career in advertising in my mid to late 40s. I took a couple of years off, was deciding what I wanted to do. And I was noticing a profound lack of anything I was wanting to see as a middle-aged woman, if you will. I was seeing women sort of trying to look way younger, or women throwing in the towel. And, because of menopause or all the hard things that do come with, with aging. But I personally was feeling really positive and better than ever. And I decided to just start talking about it.
I love it. Well, I'm going to ask this question on behalf of myself and the audience. What is the name of your blog, Goodbye to the Crop Top? Where does that come from?
Well, it's quite literal. I was in the process of building this and deciding between a few names, and I was doing laundry and shrunk one of my favorite sweaters and tossed it to one of my daughters and said, "You can have it. I've said goodbye to the crop top." And in that moment, I just went, "Wow, that's kind of catchy." And so that's literally where it came from.
That's cute. I love that. So how do you feel about anti-aging messaging and products that are catered to women?
Very passionately, I'm anti-aging. I do not like those words. The alternative does not interest me. Quite frankly, I want to wake up tomorrow and be a day older. I believe it's some psychological manipulation, big business preying on a vulnerable group, and I do not like it.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that strong take. I also hate, and everyone these days is wearing those like mom jeans plus the crop top and I can't do it with, okay. How can women over 50 embrace their style? But this is real, without fear of wearing clothes that they think are just like too young.
Yeah, didn't Jeff just tell you your really cute,
yes,
thick-soled Nikes were too young?
Yeah, he said you're 40.
I don't recall that.
Well, yeah. First of all, goodbye crop top is a metaphor. I believe women and anyone should wear what makes you feel good. I don't think there are any rules. So if the mom jeans and a crop top feels good on you at 52, by all means, wear it.
Yeah.
Everyone else is better off if you're dressing for you. You know, style is personal. Fashion is a business. I think you don't dress because of other people or because what other people are wearing. Dress for you. Find your own personal style.
I love it. Even my puff sleeve.
I love a good silhouette. I love
Thank you. How are you changing the narrative about aging for younger women, in your opinion?
Well, my hope is that I am harnessing the power and positivity that comes with aging and, you know, demonstrating that aging is indeed a privilege. I mean, I think you have to find perspective. I always say, go talk to a 40-year-old who's been diagnosed with a terminal illness and ask them how they feel about aging. You know, perspectives all around us. So I do hope Goodbye Crop Top is a hand held back to younger generations, my daughters and everyone else included, to say aging is a privilege. It is amazing. It is where the power lies. And that's what my hope is.
That's amazing. You only have a quick 30 seconds, but I wanted to just ask you, is it getting better? Do you think that there's been progress?
Yes, I do. I think even in the past 5 years, 5+ years since I've started this, the voice is getting louder. I'm all for it. And I do think there's still a lot of work left to do, but progress indeed.
Excellent to hear.
Very excellent. Wendy, thank you so much for joining us. DBL Nation.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. DBL Nation, be sure to check out Wendy's website, goodbyecroptop.com, and her podcast, Cropped. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Bye.
It was a wave and it felt.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for some joint and muscle support brought to you by Omega XL. Walking just 30 minutes a day can reduce signs of aging up to 16 years. Here's a trick. You can even split it up into 3 10-minute windows. So the fountain of youth is just steps away. And get this, studies show that walking also boosts your mood, energy, and immune system. Omega XL has improved the lives of millions of consumers, supported by 30 years of clinical research. Omega XL's powerful and proven benefits have transformed the lives of athletes, celebrities, and dedicated daily users. Call 800-607-7643 or visit omegaxl.com for more information. Thank you, everybody, for today's show.
Yeah, great
show. Great work, everybody.
You are welcome. I did good.
Our viewers loved it as well. DBL's new every day. We'll see you next time, same place. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.